He lost the championship and then went on to regain it and make 4 more defences. Korea, Jamaica, Japan. It's a pity, really, Jim, that we couldn't see more of these flyweights, well, not only in the European area, but also in America, but there just isn't enough strong opposition for him. Although, can you imagine the winner of this with Humberto Gonzalez of Mexico would be an attraction?
Yeah, well, there's certainly enough great little fighters to make plenty of great fights, but for some reason they don't happen. But I really feel that there's a big change in Chitalada's work now. I used to admire the way he slipped punches, blocked them and stepped back from them. But I've never seen him taking punches flush in the face quite as often as I have here. His own punches don't seem to have the authority they used to have. And Kittikasem's leads, especially the left jab, is really banging straight onto the front of his face. I just think that the edge is missing from Chitalada now. He's not the same as he used to be. I think all the hard years are beginning really to take their toll.
Well, he's certainly been in a few tough fights. The 3 with the Mexican Bernal proved that point. I must say, he didn't have too much trouble with little Charlie Magri. That was his first defence, by the way, of the WBC Championship. But it's youth taking over a bit here. He's 29 now, Chitalada. Kittikasem's 23.
I mean, I've had the impression a few times that if Kittikasem really stepped up the pace, he could take total control here. But maybe he has his own problems in his mind, having trouble at the weight. Maybe he's worried that he commits himself too early. He'll have nothing left if the fight does go long. But he just seems so much sharper and stronger than Chitalada, but he's not really taking charge the way I feel he could.
Great encouragement from the crowd all the time. They're terrific fight fans and gamblers as well, Jim, a mixture of both. The rest of the card, actually, on these championships is the kickboxing stuff, which I don't particularly, not one of my particular favourites anyway. So once again, collecting the scorecards there, Harley Denkin. If the unlikely event, I would have thought, 12 rounds. Jim in replay. If the referee gets out of the way.
So, well, Kittikasem's punches are still that little bit sharp. I mean, when can you remember seeing Chitalada's face being knocked back with so many jabs?
Yeah, sad they lose the timing, and we won't keep making a play about the ridiculous weight making. That's a contributory cause, but as you say, Jim, the battles have caught up with him now, and he's just losing that edge, the sharpness. Into round 5. Scheduled, just to remind you, of course, for 12 rounds, the World Boxing Council Flyweight Championship, and Kittikasem in the red stripe, Chitalada, both from Thailand.
Yeah, Kittikasem just seems quite happy already. He's just moving around, using the jab, keeping it at long range, not really getting committed yet. He's winning the rounds and without getting involved, but I think sooner or later he's going to step the pace up, because Chitalada is a far easier target than I'm sure they expected him to be.
Made a couple of successful defences already, Kittikasem, in Korea and again in Bangkok, and then had a non-title fight in Korea, a real thriller apparently. I love these names that they come up with, though, Kittikasem, Jim. It sounds almost like a cat food. It's not his real name, by the way. His real name I'm not going to say because it's like an anagram. It's just impossible for me. They take names from gymnasiums and managing camps and everything. So you could actually be Jim Lawless if you were in Thailand.
Well, that was one of the few right hands that Kittikasem has thrown in the fight, and it landed beautifully. So now he's beginning to back Chitalada up, getting a little bit closer, putting some power into the punches. I'm surprised he didn't do this earlier.
Sort of fighting from memory, isn't he, Chitalada, Jim, and strength, and well, what's left of his strength anyway, and certainly a strong heart that he's got.
Yeah, he's still got plenty of heart, but his performance is all kind of disjointed. He's not mounting at a good steady attack with a purpose. See, there his head knocked back again with these jabs. I really feel if Kittikasem stepped up the pace, got closer and stayed there, he could probably get Chitalada out of there. He's just got so much power. Oh, lovely left hook. These are really good punches from Kittikasem now.
And they're long punches, Jim, but they're so accurate.
See, Chitalada doesn't have the sharpness to pull his head away from the punches. I've never seen him taking so many clean punches on the turn like this.
Well, he's obviously looking for the purse money to now really cushion his career. He's the most eligible bachelor in Thailand, so I wouldn't have thought he'd have any trouble in that field. I like the little look at each other then, as if to say, hey, this is a tougher fight than the first one. Jim?
Well, Kittikasem stepped up the pace in that round, got a little bit closer and started using the right hand. And every punch he throws has been landing. No trouble at all. There again is that head being jabbed back. Not really a good sign for such a great former champion.
Well, there he is. And there's the rundown on Chitalada. But statistics won't count at all at this stage of the game. Trying to come out early for work there, but the American referee saying, no, thank you. So the 6th round then of this very hard battle, a little one-sided of course, but because of the gameness of the former champion, he's always making it just that little bit interesting to say, well, can he do it? Can he just pull that one punch out of the bag that counts?
So I think Chitalada must be becoming really frustrated. His mind knows exactly the job that's required. He knows what he wants to do. That was just more of a stumble, Reg. A punch was thrown, but just a little stumble.
Yeah, the referee did well there.
Yeah, but Chitalada knows what he wants to do, Reg, but the body just won't respond. He's that split second late.
So he's trying the clubbing technique now, Jim, desperation.
Yeah, these are just wide swinging punches, and with the tight defence Kittikasem has, no problem. He just dips down and takes these punches on his arms and shoulders.
Well, certainly Kittikasem throwing punches faster and better than he did on the speedball that we saw him in the gymnasium. Chitalada's manager Sompo there really yelling out now. Apparently he's had it interpreted there. He's saying, you know, get back to the original plan and stay up close so that it just negates these long punches that come in so accurately from the champion.
Well, full credit to Chitalada. He's trying to push Kittikasem back, but there's that head being jabbed back on his shoulders again. See, he's always just that split second too slow with these punches. Still throwing nice punches, but they're not getting home. Just the sharpness, I'm afraid, seems to have left him forever.
Such a powerful fighter at his peak as well, Chitalada. It's a shame to see this. On the other hand, mustn't take anything away from Kittikasem. He's a very competent world champion, isn't he?
Yep, and his tactics are spot on, Reg. He's just controlling everything. Nice tight defence when Chitalada does come forward. When he just steps a half step back, makes him miss, he's punishing him with good solid counters. It's a good performance from the champion.
Even the photographers falling over each other there to get pictures outside the ring. It makes it almost like the British promotions and the media around the ringside is more like a Chelsea tea party compared with this atmosphere. And the heat adding to it all. It amazes me, Jim. I realise they were born in this country, but they didn't fight 12 rounds every day of their life. How they can adapt themselves so easily, these fighters. So here's a replay, Jim.
Yeah, well, Kittikasem has been pushed back, a couple of punches. A punch did land, but that was purely and simply a stumble.
Time for a break then, and we'll be right back with more action. And here comes the 7th round then. A bell that's almost like a telephone at the ringside, but they can hear it okay. There it is. That's the ringing bell is to get the seconds out of the ring first, and then the single strike, of course, for the action, and to re-identify there. In other words, the man who's winning looks like the reigning champion. Wasn't too pleased with that.
He's wiping his eye, Reggie.
Yeah, he's cut.
Blood then, yes.
Yeah, Chitalada's cut there. There was a head clash there. I don't know whether you could call that a deliberate butt or not, Jim. And he's calling the doctor. And so long as it's well away from danger areas, he's just wiping it there, the doctor, of course, to have a good look. And advising the referee that it's okay to carry on. It's never good, of course, but it's not serious enough to be stopped in this round. So desperation, indeed, now by Chitalada. And he's got to cool it down a bit, Kittikasem. I think he can smell that he can get him out of there, Jim, as you'd say, that he wants to turn it on a bit.
Yeah, the referee seemed to have some complaint, Reg, but I didn't see any deliberate clash of heads there.
Yeah, it's after they've clashed. I think that Kittikasem just turned his head a bit. Maybe we can have another look at that anyway.
But I would say Chitalada really needs a big round at this stage in the fight, and I think a cut over his eye was just the last thing that needed. Nothing's been going right, and now he is in serious trouble. There's that accurate right hand again from the champion.
Yeah, he's picking them off at will there, Kittikasem.
All the way through, Kittikasem has been that little bit sharper. His jab really has been used to full effect. We've seen so often it just driving Chitalada's head back in his shoulders. Now with the blood flowing from the eye, I'd be very surprised, Reg, if this goes much further.
For H-Stone fighters, Jim, actually, the punching, even from Chitalada in a way, is not only accurate, it's very stiff punching. It's not taps at all. There's no slapping going on. It's all firm punching. Oh dear. He's trying that right hand. He's dying to get Chitalada over with the right hand punch.
See there again with Chitalada coming forward. He missed with a punch and he just lost all his rhythm. Oh, that was pretty bad. I think the referee should be pulling him up for that. Yeah, that was a bad one.
Oh, that was the bull and matador job, that one. But oh dear. It's ridiculous for him to do that, Jim. He's got it made to Kittikasem. He doesn't have to rough it up at all.
This is the first time, really, that Chitalada's had him under any kind of pressure, and look how he responds. He's just putting his head down and pulling forward. Very dangerous with his head in this round. But I said that Chitalada needed a big round. He's trying to have one. He's trying, unless it's a dying effort, maybe he feels that the blood that's coming from his eye is not going to go on much longer. But he seems to be giving all he has in this round. He still looks very ragged, Reg, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
That was another.
And again, oh dear. What a turn up for the book if Denkin decided he's going to take the point away. That was obvious. He really could do without that. Okay, he's got enough points in the bank not to worry too much about it. But, you know, in Britain, Jim, it's a good chance of getting disqualified for continually doing that.
Yeah, well, that's too deliberate, but it's plainly deliberate. I'm surprised and disappointed at Kittikasem. It's the first time he's been under pressure, and this is how he comes back.
Yeah, we can see it again here now. I think that's where the cut occurred there, Jim. I'm sure that's the point. You see there again, just a sort of couple of nods against it, wasn't it? It was enough. Yeah,
well, it was just after that we saw Chitalada wiping at his eye.
And there's the second part of that fight with a butt coming in there. But dangerous cut over the left eye, actually, or through the eyebrow, which is bad enough. And he's just got to calm down a bit if he wants to be a great world champion. And I think even Ray Clark there is going around the corner just having a look at that to make sure the referee's doing okay, although the referee calls the shots, and he could either override the doctor if he wanted to, but that rarely happens. So into the 8th round then. And a bit surprising in view of what's gone on that it's lasted this long.
Yeah, well, in the second round, it didn't look to me. I didn't think Chitalada would even survive the second round. He was so badly shaken, but he's done well, pulled himself together, and had a very good seventh, considering he was cut right at the start of the seventh, and blood coming freely from the cut all the way through the round. But he still seems to lack something, Reg. His performance has been ragged all the way through, and he just lacks the strength and the timing that we're so used to seeing from him.
This only heightens the excitement of the crowd, and believe me, in Bangkok they can get very excited. And again there, the warning to Kittikasem, ridiculous. In fact, in one of the earlier Chitalada fights, a couple of people died and a couple of guys got shot while this was going on.
Yeah, Kittikasem just grabbed him by the neck and pulled him after he made him miss with a punch, grabbed him behind the neck and pulled him. So at least it's a different warning he's getting in this round. It's not for the deliberate butting. Well, full credit to Chitalada, Reg. He's finally started to put Kittikasem under some pressure, and Kittikasem is the one who's becoming ragged now. But still, when he falls back on that jab, Reg, it's really so accurate, and again, knocking the challenger's head back. There it is again.
Well, he's so far behind now, Chitalada, that he's got to get a bit desperate and try and get a finishing punch in, but he's never really hurt Kittikasem. I'd say the last thing to go, Jim, is a fighter's punch, and I think it will be the last thing by the look of it with Chitalada, and just the old wearing down tactics that he could do early in his career, not working with this fellow. And there you see, wiping the blood away from the eye. Great distress. He's
just driving himself on here, Reg, but he doesn't seem to have any real purpose. He doesn't know what he's trying to do. It's just his heart is making him drive on it. He's pumping out the punches, but he's been picked off with the counters, and his own punches all the way through have lacked that snap. I think he's just coming towards the end of the line, Reg. Either he's going to have to step up a weight or maybe just call it a day.
Well, the management were more or less saying before the fight, if he couldn't win this, he may as well retire. So I hope that... Well, he's got the last say, of course, the fighter, at all times.
See, but he's just marching straight in, Reg. No imagination, no technique. They're just marching straight in, trying to do it in heart. And he's been picked off for the counters. Kittikasem keeping mobile. There's good left-hand work again from the champion.
Well, a little friendly ending there. That surprised me. So let's have a look replay. Another head clash, I think, here, Jim, we've got.
Well, I don't know that it was quite as deliberate. He ducked down onto that one with Chitalada coming through. I suppose that the blame was Kittikasem's, but it wasn't as blatant as the couple in the previous round.
So the adrenaline swabs there and the pressure on. And again, the doctor and the referee checking there that it's not too dangerous to carry on. And he's obviously saying there, Marty Denkin, you're as responsible as I am to the doctor. Let's keep a close look at this. I wouldn't have thought this could go much longer now, Jim. He's probably saying to Chitalada, as if he could understand a New York Californian accent, that this maybe we'll give you one more round. It's possible he said that, actually. And it's the 9th round. A lot of concern, I thought there was in the corner there, Jim. The old writing was on the wall there a bit, wasn't it?
Well, he's been picked off, Reg. He's just been marching forward all the way through the 8th. He had a decent 7th round compared to what he's been doing earlier. But he's just marching straight forward. He's doing it in guts, and he's been picked off. Once more, I feel that if Kittikasem starts pushing him back and opens up on him, he could parcel him up for the evening. But he's still so much courage. But he's ragged and no real purpose in his work.
Well, he's dying to go out, Chitalada, obviously with the professional's pride of not being knocked over. May sound a foolish thing, but it means a great deal to fellows who've won the championship of the world. They don't want to give it up easily, and they want to walk out at least with their head high, even if badly marked with these bruises and cuts of battle that he's got here, Chitalada.
There's another little bit of illegal head work from Kittikasem, I thought, Reg, but the referee showing a bit of leniency. But Chitalada just marching forward. See, when he gets close, he's swinging wide with the punches. The old technique seems to have deserted him. He's still plenty of courage, plenty of heart, but he's just walking straight forward. And it's possible that Kittikasem is beginning to... Oh, that was a good shot.
Is he going to stop it? He is going to stop it, Jim. He's not even waiting for a mandatory count. And certainly Chitalada's not objecting there. And it was a sensible act, I thought, there by Marty Denkin. They could possibly have stopped in Britain a little earlier than that, but I wouldn't blame the referees. Tried to give the former champion every chance. And you notice there was no objections from the... no histrionics, anyway, from the corner. Jim, here's the final punch.
I don't really think that's the punch that made the referee decide to stop it. It was a good punch, but Chitalada handled it well and recovered. I think it's what's been happening over the last couple of rounds. Chitalada taking too many, too often.
Yeah, the accumulation of punches, there's no doubt about that. And that was the time that Denkin said, right, that's it. You've had all the chance you can have. Well, you need a little bit of compassion too at times. They need rescuing. Sometimes the corners should do it for them, Jim, but I'm not blaming them either. I suppose Chitalada's saying, no, I want to go on.
Yeah, well, in the last few rounds, it was just really heart that kept Chitalada in the fight. His technique had gone, the sharpness had gone. He was taking too many punches. He was getting caught really full in the face with the jabs and the right hands. Really nothing much more to offer. We'd seen who the better man was. So I think the referee picked the right time to get him out of there.
And there, of course, is the reigning champion. So the contracts will be out now to find yet another challenger for him, Jim. I would like to see the Kittikasem fight in America again, because you know, he lost to Michael Carbajal, and that's still worrying him a bit. But so it's all friends again at the finish. All the betting's over. So it looks as though Gary Newbon's caught up with the referee Marty Denkin to ask him how and why he stopped it.
Marty Denkin, why did you stop the fight?
It wasn't because of the cut. The cut was deep and it was bad, but the blood was running to the side and not into his eye. It looked worse than it was, but it was a deep cut, but not one that was in the lid that would cause for permanent eye damage. But he was now weak, and he no longer indicated he could mount an offense. And when you have an injury that's severe like that, combined with an inability to do anything to your opponent, then I think it's time to stop it, whether the doctor wants to or not.
It was a very brave effort by Chitalada, but he was outclassed, though.
Well, I don't know if it was outclassed, though. The person was just fighting a smarter fight. Chitalada should have gone to the body and other things because he knew he had taken a lot of weight off. But he was contented to fight his fight on the outside, and when he got on the outside, the guy was too sharp and fast for him.
Did you think it was going to be over in the second when he was being knocked down?
Well, his eyes were very clear. He looked more confused than he hurt, but he was hurt. But he was more confused, but his eyes were focusing, and he was trying to bob and weave. When someone tries to bob and weave, that tells me they have their facilities.
The cut was caused by a headbutt, right?
Yes, it was. But it wasn't intentional. It's a style of the guy. But he did it again, and I wanted to remind, that's why I took a second point away in that round.
To Kittikasem?
Yes.
Okay, and you're very happy you made the right decision there?
Well, I won't lose any sleep over it.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
What happens to Chitalada now? Will he retire?
Yeah, I'll keep him retired, you know, because he is too old first, you know, and he have many company to want him to work with them.
Sompop, have you told him that you will be retiring him yet?
Yeah, we will talk before then, and I saw this fight. I invite him to retire. Definitely.
He agrees?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, our camera was there in the dressing room as the decision was taken to retire Sok Chitalada. He has been a great champion over the years. But at the same time, let's salute a new world champion from Thailand, Muangcchai Kittikasem, retaining that title in style, and he's one to watch out for in the future. Well, I can tell you that the temperature's almost 100 degrees here in Thailand, and one advantage you've got at home over me is you can't smell the crocodiles, and boy, do they stink, particularly at this time of night. From Thailand, good night.